Hi, this is Kirk from livingafield.com. I'd like to welcome you to another session of our online learning academy, where today we're going to learn about mullein, the respiratory savior. The botanical name of mullein is Verbascum thapsus. There's some pictures of mullein. The common names are mullein, old man's flannel, flannel leaf, beggar's blanket, velvet plant, feltwort, witch's candle, donkey's ears, hag's taper, candlewick plant, torches, cowboy toilet paper, and Quaker rouge. You can see how you might get confused about this plant. This plant is native to the entire United States. It's a member of the Scrophulariaceae or figwort or snapdragon family. It is a biennial herbaceous plant, meaning that it lives through a 2-year life cycle. This plant, the first year it is in a basal rosette, meaning that all of the leaves grow out from one central location and there is not a plant stem. The second year plant sends up a flower stalk that can be up to 8 foot high under optimal conditions, although we typically find it in the 3 to 5 foot tall range. There will be leaves all along the flower stem as well. The first year plant produces a large rosette of fuzzy gray-green leaves. The leaves are large, oval-shaped, and extremely hairy, even flannel-like, hence many of the common names. The second year plant sends up an erect flower stalk. This plant grows from a taproot and hairy root mass. This plant flowers in the summer and continues to flower into the autumn. The end of the stalk is covered in hundreds of small buds. These buds bloom a few at a time throughout the flowering season. The flowers themselves are approximately 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch across, and they consist of 5 yellow petals. Once all of the flowers have been pollinated, a single seed will grow in each one. The dried flower stalk can persist throughout the winter and can be used as a drill for making fire or as a survival arrow shaft. Seeds from the second year plant are small and quite numerous. This common plant is often missed, but I have no idea how, as it is so large. It grows practically everywhere and is really quite beautiful. The blossoms and seeds contain a small amount of saponin. This is useful in a survival situation because it works to temporarily paralyze fish. This plant prefers abandoned homesteads, disturbed soils, fields, waste areas, and forest margins. You will not find this plant growing deep in the forest. It needs pretty much full sun. The parts of the plant that you use are the flowers, leaves, and the roots. A healthful tea can be brewed from the leaves. Other than that, it has virtually no wild food uses. The following slides are meant for informational purposes only. They're not meant to diagnose or treat any illness or injury. Always consult with a physician or other qualified medical care provider concerning the diagnosis and treatment of any illness or injury. Mullein is wonderful at treating lung ailments. I cannot begin to stress this enough. It is truly amazing. It has been used as an effective treatment for tuberculosis. A tea, decoction, or tincture made from mullein leaves is used to treat a host of lung ailments. Boiling 2 ounces of fresh leaves or 1 ounce of dried leaves for 15 to 20 minutes in a pint of water yields a decoction that, when strained to remove the tiny hairs, is excellent at alleviating coughs, bronchitis, lung congestions, and the symptoms of asthma. Preparations mixed with mallow, Malva neglecta, are my favorite for treating lung ailments. Native Americans smoked the leaves to alleviate coughing, bronchitis, and asthma. Now, I know that might sound counterintuitive, but the PDR being Physician's Desk Reference, the PDR for herbal medicine actually lists smoking mullein as a recognized treatment for asthma. I use mullein in a tonic formula to treat colds. Taken at the first sign of a cold, this formula has proven highly effective at nipping a cold in the bud, so to speak. It is also proven to lessen the length and severity of colds. I use a mixture of mullein and goldenrod tinctures to treat seasonal allergies. A friend of mine has had severe sinus infections that would not respond to antibiotics. He took mullein tincture, and in 2 days his sinuses were clear. Mullein soothes the mucous membranes of the sinuses, eliminating sinus drainage, which in turn eliminates cough. It also soothes the mucous membranes of the lungs and throat, and it helps eliminate excess mucus from the lungs. My favorite recipe is to boil 1/3 cup each of dried mullein and mallow. You may substitute 2/3 cup of mullein for the mallow in 1 gallon of water until the water reduces by half. I then pour the mixture through a strainer to remove the plant material, and then give a final strain through a coffee filter to remove the fine mullein hairs. A cup of this decoction, sweetened with sugar or honey, is a wonderful remedy for upper respiratory problems or as a daily treatment for asthma. All it takes to make a highly effective cough syrup is a bunch of mullein flowers and some sugar. You start out by placing a 1/2 inch layer of sugar into the bottom of a mason jar. You can use a pint mason jar, you can use a 1/2 pint, you can use a quart, whatever you choose. If you use a quart, you need a lot of flowers. Collecting the flowers is kind of a pain because you can only collect a few at a time because they only bloom a few at a time. So you would have to walk quite a ways to get enough flowers to make a quart of this cough syrup. But anyways, getting back to the cough syrup. Once you have that 1/2 inch layer of sugar in the bottom of the mason jar, you top that with a 1/2 inch layer of fresh mullein flowers. Cover that with a 1/2 inch layer of sugar, and then you repeat this process until whatever jar you've chosen to use is filled to within approximately a 1/2 inch from the top. Now you cover the jar and place it in a sunny location for a month. The ultraviolet rays of the sun will break down the mullein and the sugar, and the resulting syrup is an excellent, delicious remedy for coughs. You can strain out the mullein flowers, although that's not necessary. You simply take a 1/2 teaspoon of this as you need it for your coughs. Mullein flower infused olive oil is an excellent treatment for ear infections. It's highly effective for both humans and pets. It's also an excellent treatment for ear mites in dogs and cats. To make a mullein oil, fill a mason jar with chopped mullein leaves, and then fill the jar to 1/2 inch below the lip with olive oil. Then place the jar in the sun for a month. After the month, strain out the plant material, and you have a medicinal mullein oil. Mullein is one of my all-time favorite medicinal plants. This plant is an anti-asthmatic, meaning that it relieves the symptoms of asthma. It is antibacterial. It actually kills bacteria. It is anticatarrheal. It removes excess mucus, generally from the upper respiratory tract. It is anti-infective. It helps combat infections. It is anti-inflammatory. It helps your body combat inflammation. And it is antimicrobial. It helps your body destroy or resist pathogenic organisms. It is antispasmodic. It helps prevent or ease muscle spasms in both skeletal muscles and smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are considered the involuntary muscles, those which move the heart, the diaphragm, things like that. And then skeletal muscles or striated muscles are those which are voluntary. They allow you to move different parts of your body. This plant is antitussive. It helps reduce or prevent cough. This plant is demulcent. It's rich in mucilage, and it helps soothe and tone the mucous membranes of the body. We talked about it being antitussive. That was a little bit of a misnomer. People consider it antitussive because you don't cough anymore, but a true antitussive works on the brain. It stops the impulse to cough. A demulcent soothes the mucous membranes of your body. That helps your body eliminate stuck excess mucus. That also stops your cough. It soothes the mucous membranes of the sinuses in the back of the throat. That stops that postnasal drip going down the back of your throat, which gives you that dry, hacking cough. So demulcents work quite well at stopping coughs. It is an expectorant. It helps your body remove excess mucus from the lungs. It does that by lubricating the lungs to make it easy for your body to rid itself of that thick, stuck-on mucus. It is lymphatic. It will stimulate and cleanse the lymphatic system. It is pectoral. It strengthens the lungs. I take this plant every day as a treatment for my occupationally induced extrinsic asthma. Verbascum thapsus has no toxic lookalikes, and there are no drug interactions concerning Verbascum thapsus. As always, though, you should check with your healthcare provider before taking any herbal supplement. Verbascum thapsus is one of my all-time favorite plants for the treatment of asthma and other lung ailments. I sincerely hope you give it a try. You will not be disappointed. I hope you get out into the natural world and harvest some for yourself. The dried plant can also be purchased retail or at various online suppliers. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please try one of our other online videos. You might also be interested in one of our guided plant walks. You can find all of our training opportunities on our website at livingafield.com. I would appreciate you taking a moment and emailing me your feedback on this video to videos@livingafield.com. This ends our video presentation. I hope you have a wonderful day.